Today on our 2016 Ram 2500, we're going to be taking a look at and showing you how to install the Curt fifth wheel or Gooseneck Custom Wiring Harness, part number C56000. So here's what our fifth wheel and gooseneck wiring looks like when it's fully installed. It's going to give us a 7-way socket at the back of our truck, so that way when we're towing with a fifth wheel or a gooseneck, we'll have our connector right here. It does come with a spring-loaded weatherproof door to keep out some of the moisture and help corrosion from building up on the inside of our socket. Now, not only is this going to give you all the required lights on your trailer, such as your stoplights, clearance lights, and your turn signals, now it's also going to give you all the functions of a 7-way, including your brake controller. That is, if the factory 7-way on your vehicle is connected that way as well. Now, the way we're going to install this is there's going to be a T-connector that goes between our factory 7-way on the back of our bumper, and it's going to run up to here. Our harness does come with a 10-foot lead, so there's plenty of wire to run it in most applications where you'd put it in the back of the bed here. One of the nice features of our harness here is that it does come pre-installed with wire loom across the entire length of our wire, helping protect it from the elements or anything else. Now that we've gone over some of the features and benefits, let's show you how easy it is to get installed. To begin our installation, we're going to need to find a spot to mount our 7-way plug. Now right here, just on the inside of our bed, towards the bottom seems like a good spot to mount it. Now we're going to need a 2 1/8 hole saw. And I just want to mention you want to be extremely careful when you start drilling, because once you start drilling, you don't want to push too hard and go through too far to the outside of the bed. Now, if this happened where you go through the first piece and there is a secondary support piece back there, we are going to have to drill through that as well. It's never a good idea to leave bare metal exposed on your vehicle, so I'm going to come back with some clear spray paint and spray paint the inside of this so that I can prevent some of the rust. Now, we're going to have a couple different options of how we get everything routed, but this end of the plug is going to end up right here, and this is going to need to go towards the back of our bumper. So we can either feed this down, or we can take this end and come from underneath and feed it up through. Now we'll go ahead and try to feed this down. You may have a little bit of trouble getting it through the hole, in which case we might have to go through the bottom. Looks like we can feed it through, so we're going to feed this, letting it fall all the way down. Now before we connect it, I'm going to put a little dielectric grease on my connection points, and that's just going to help keep out some of the moisture and help any of the corrosion buildup from happening. And just line up the tabs on our socket and plug. Make sure everything locks into place. Now we can get ready to mount our plug right here. Now in our kit they do provide us with some self-tapping screws. So I'm going to take my self-tapping screws and I'm going to secure my 7-way to the side of my bed. I'm going to repeat that for all the remaining holes. So here's my 7-way that I dropped down. Now we're going to need to get this over to where our factory 7-way and our bumper is. So I'm just going to go over my frame here and route it towards the center of my truck. So here's where our factory 7-way is, and if we come to this tab right here, we're going to push down and it should release the plug and allow us to access the socket on the back. Now I'm going to take a little bit more dielectric grease and put it into my connections. Now we can take our 7-way that we routed over here and plug it in to the vehicle socket. Make sure that it locks. Put a little bit more dielectric grease on the other end of our connector. We can plug it back into our factory socket. Make sure it locks. Now all we have to do is tidy up all the wires. Just put a few zip ties to keep everything secure, and also so it's not hanging down. Now I got my tester plugged up. Now with an extra set of hands, I'm going to have them run up to the front to make sure all my lights are working and everything's working properly. So we can see that our clearance lights are working. Now if we have the left turn signal, please. Now the right turn signal. Now the brakes. Now finally the brakes and both turn signals. Looks like everything's running good. Now, while we're here, we might as well check our brake controller. Now, if we look up at the top, if our extra set of hands hit the manual override to make sure that the power is going through, we can see that's working as well. Now we're ready to hit the road. And that'll finish up our look at the Curt fifth wheel or Gooseneck Custom Wiring Harness, part number C56000 on our 2016 Ram 2500.